I want to talk to you about why I think creating a membership is a terrible, terrible idea unless you have an established audience of ideally way over 1,000 people, but 1,000 people being the absolute minimum, right? Now, I've seen so many gurus peddling the membership model as the sort of holy grail of business models because they're so passive, such a passive business model that give you this recurring income and allow you to serve at a smaller price point, which allows you to impact and serve more people, and it's easier for people to invest. All of these are myths. Okay, so I'm just going to go through them one on one. There is nothing remotely passive about a membership. A membership requires constant content creation month on month to ensure that you retain members. Okay, and that is the same whether you have 2 members in it, 10 members in it, or 5,000 members in it. It doesn't really matter. It requires that same amount of work. So what I see is people with audiences of a couple of hundred people decide that it would be easier to start a membership. 1, because it's passive, 2, because recurring income, and 3, because it will be easier for their audience because it's cheaper, right? Which is falling into this myth that cheaper is easier to sell. It's actually not easier to sell. A membership which is recurring, right, as in people pay month on month. That is a big commitment when you make a subscription versus a one-off payment. Now, I'm not talking as someone that has no experience in this. I'm talking as someone who has grown a membership to over 200 people over 2 years, which was very, very successful. However, I see so many people fall into the trap of launching memberships too early because they think it will be easier to sell, and it's not easier to sell. It actually requires a lot of thought for someone to invest on a monthly basis. 3, this idea of recurring income. Okay, well, say you had an audience of 300 people and you launched a membership and you converted 1 or 2%. Okay, so how many people? That's 3 people into your membership. Now, say they're paying £20 a month and you've got 3 people in your membership. So now you've got £60 a month. Even if you've got 10 people into your membership and they're paying £20 a month, right now you have £200 a month. And yet, you have to be serving those people as if you had 100 or 200 people in there. You have to be creating content to retain them. And then you have the churn, the number of people that leave every single month, natural churn. Even if you do everything right, you're always going to have people leave. And then you've got the constant need for enrollment and then to keep people. So please, if you have an audience of under 1,000 people, I just want you to consider whether the membership model at a low price point is actually going to allow you to make the amount of money that you want, and if it's going to be worth it for you to be serving at that price point, which is why I'm a massive, massive fan of group programs. Now, I will say, I absolutely love my membership. I have just closed it, but I absolutely loved it and it worked really well for me. But I did not launch it until I had an audience of nearly 1,000 people. Now, if you've got that audience there, you've got that base audience, and you're really attracted by the membership model, go for it. But no, there is nothing remotely passive. Anyone that uses the word passive and the word membership in the same sentence is fooling themselves, because the content creation and need to enroll and deal with churn means it is the least passive business model you could possibly have. Okay, but that's why I love group programs, because group programs allow you to still charge a reasonable price point, maybe even near your one-on-one or more than your one-on-one, serve incredibly deeply and get people a true result, whereas memberships often serve on a much, much lower level and struggle to deliver that same transformation. So there we go. You've got Ranty Gemma today ranting around why I hate people peddling the membership model as the holy grail of business models. It is fine if you want to do the work and you've got the established audience and you're prepared to go all in, but it is the opposite of an easy business model to maintain. If that resonated with you, let me know in the comments.